In Mark chapter 7, there's a story of the Syrophoenician woman, a woman who was a Gentile, not part of the Jewish family, but she had heard about Jesus. And so she heard that Jesus could heal people and deliver people. And she had a daughter who was tormented by a demon. And so she finds where Jesus is. She goes into the house and she starts begging, Lord, please, my daughter, she's tormented. And everyone's trying to get her out and say, no, he can't help you. And Jesus says, let the children be fed first. For it's not good, it's not right to take the children's bread and give it to the dogs. Oof. That was an opportunity for her to be offended if she would have allowed it. It was an opportunity for her to either get offended and give up or to persist and keep praying. We will have these opportunities because we have to persist in prayer. We have to overcome disappointment of God, wait, but I prayed about this situation and it didn't happen. The breakthrough didn't come in this time. The person didn't get healed. We have to wrestle through. This is real life. This is real life. We have to wrestle through the times where there's confusion about, God, I interceded, I prayed, there wasn't an answer. And sometimes we just have to be willing to embrace the mystery and saying, I don't understand, but I know what God says in his word, so I'm going to keep persisting. And this woman took that posture and says, I don't understand this kind of treatment. It seems like I'm being treated poorly, but you know what? I love my daughter, and I know Jesus can do this, and so I'm going to keep asking. She persisted. She said, Lord, but yes, but even the little dogs, they have the crumbs. They can eat the crumbs that fall from the table. Jesus marveled at her faith. He said, go your way. Your daughter is set free. She's healed. In that moment, she was delivered from a demon. Jesus wasn't even present with her. Why? Because it was intercession. The intercession of this mother, Jesus responded to the intercession. And then we see in Mark chapter 9, a similar story. This time it was a boy. It was a boy that had a demon. And Jesus had brought this boy to, the father had brought the boy to some of Jesus' disciples when Jesus was up on the mountain with Peter, James, and John. The father must have heard that these disciples could heal and deliver, and so he brings the boy to them, but they couldn't do it. They couldn't cast out the demon. They couldn't heal the boy. And so he's desperate, and Jesus comes down the mountain, and they're all talking about this, and he brings it, he cries out. In fact, it says that he had tears. He lifted his voice with tears. If you can help, Jesus, please, do something. My boy's tormented. I brought him to your disciples. They couldn't, but please, if you can do anything. And he's even battling unbelief. I believe, help my unbelief. He's wrestling through. And Jesus responds to this father's cry, to this father's persistence, to this father's faith, and he delivers the boy. What if God's waiting for us, his people, to care enough about a lost world to give ourselves to costly intercession and prayer? What if God's waiting for his people to do what he ordained them to do and called them to do? To see people set free that seem hopeless, that seem like Peter in prison. It's over, it's done, there's no hope. But what if God's waiting for the response of his people to care enough, to be willing to be inconvenienced enough, to be willing to take on the burden and the heart and the pain and the intercession? Not for ourselves, but for Peter in prison, for the little girl at home, for the little boy that's demonized, for the lost coworker who's away from God, who doesn't know God, for your family member who's bound by addiction, for your sibling living in sin, away from God. What if God wants us to be part of the equation?